Someone asked me recently what it feels like. What does being in God's presence feel like? And I think that's a good question. I've shared with many my love for adoration of the Blessed Sacrament. It's one of the more rarefied forms of worship in the Catholic tradition, and some people find it a bit strange. During adoration, the consecrated bread from the Mass is placed on the altar, usually in a vessel called a monstrance, so that it can be seen. And now there's no set liturgy or words that have to be said. One simply goes and is present there. So what the heck do you get out of staring at the consecrated host from the Mass? I mean, after all, bread is for eating, not looking at. And yet, for me and many others, something happens. I've had multiple experiences of being in the presence of the Blessed Sacrament and feeling something profound. Can I explain it? Well, I can try, I suppose, but it often sounds a little kooky. Like something fishy or self-induced. And hey, I'm not ruling out that it is, because the truth is I don't know what's happening when I sit in front of the sacrament. I just know something seems to draw me in, something I seem to recognize. And I think that matters. Because sometimes encounters with God are something you can't explain. Now, I fear that is easily dismissed as a faith that's too simple, thin at best, self-indulgent at worst. And people might be right to be suspicious, because feelings without self-awareness or reflection can lead people to do awful things, to follow blindly without examination. And that is why many faith traditions of a particular sort are keen to offer a systematic theology, a way of making sense of religion to those who are looking. Christianity is presented as a coherent account of reality. It explains why life has meaning, why right and wrong matter, and it's rooted, this kind of theology, in historic events. But that's not the kind of faith today's gospel shows us. John the Baptist speaks of an encounter he does not fully understand. He admits that he did not know Jesus. He saw something strange, unverifiable, and yet it was enough to leave him with faith. And the gospel continues in the same way. Two disciples begin following Jesus without knowing who he is or what he teaches. And within hours, they seem to speak of faith. And this repeats. It repeats again and again in the New Testament. Accounts of faith starting not with an explanation, but through a meeting. Not analysis, not mental power, not having been convinced by an argument, but simply being in the presence of Jesus. I have a feeling that if you've been to this church before, more than once, that something has stayed with you. You've come back. Maybe you know what that is, or maybe you can't quite put your finger on it, or wouldn't want to even try. My guess is that you've had an encounter that you've not been able to dismiss. Now, everyone's experience is not the same, of course. So, it's no good to say that faith is just a feeling. That's too subjective, too ephemeral. But faith does have something to do with perception and response. It's like recognizing a face. You know, when you do that, you can't quite recognize where you've seen it before, but you know you have. Or like turning towards a sound before you know what it is. It's like knowing something matters before you know what to do with it. What I'm describing isn't some lowbrow experience, nor is it second tier in relation to scriptural or historical analysis. Because in fact, it is the heart of faith, the experience of the saints. So what I want to say, both to those of you who are new to this place and those of you who've been coming for years, is this: don't discount your experiences. You do not need to explain them or to justify them or to somehow force them into certainty. Faith is not having everything figured out. It is having an encounter, like John or Andrew or Peter, and then following it. Keep going. See where it leads.